Hello, welcome to Ascending DC channel. We are an AWS certified partner to provide cloud consulting and technical support to clients who are looking for cloud solutions to tackle the challenge in their day-to-day operations. This video is one of the many short videos we are producing. In each of them, we're going to demo and explain when used for AWS practice that can be used to improve the efficiency and accuracy of your work. All these tricks have been proved effective in our clients' success. If you are a project manager, DevOps, architect, software engineer, or just looking for useful cloud practice, this video is made for you. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about the main components of AWS ETL tools, how to use Glue, crawler, connection, and jobs in the ETL process. I'll let Celeste introduce and demo these components today. Celeste, you're up.
Hello, my name is Celeste. I'm a data engineer in Ascending. AWS Glue is a serverless and fully managed ETL service using Spark as the execution engine. As an ETL service, Glue can help us easily transform the data from data sources to the downstream system. For example, database like RDS, data warehouse like Redshift, or data lake like S3. In order to run ETL process using Glue, we're going to use different Glue features. Let's start with Glue crawler. In order to better understand crawler, we need to first go over data catalog concept. Glue data catalog contains metadata information of data sources and targets of your ETL jobs. That information in data catalog is stored as Glue tables in Glue database. In other words, data catalog doesn't contain actual data, but store the metadata of your data sources and data targets. The crawler is a tool that helps us to capture and keep those metadata in data catalog. There are several prerequisites to be set up. First, we need to create an IAM role, which is mainly based on AWS Glue service role policy, and you may need to add other policies depends on what services your crawler is targeting to. For example, if your crawler's target data store is DynamoDB, then besides policy of AWS Glue service role, you should have at least one policy to allow you to access the target DynamoDB. For our demo, we need to attach Amazon S3 full access policy in order to access S3 resources. We're going to read S3 data using crawler and create a Glue job to write data into S3. You can also customize your policy to limit the crawler can only access certain objects in certain buckets. Besides IAM role, we also need a security group with self-referencing inbound rules for all TCP ports. If your target data store is S3 or DynamoDB, you may not have to create a security group. But if you need to access, for example, RDS using Glue JDBC connection, you definitely need to create a security group. Let's start to create a Glue crawler whose target data store is S3 bucket. We open the Glue console and find the crawler under the data catalog. Click Add Crawler. Give a name to the crawler. Keep default setting for the rest. And click Next. Keep default. Click Next. We choose S3 as the data store. No Glue connection is needed for S3 crawler. We'll give a S3 path of where the target data is located. No need to add another data store. Choose the existing IAM role we've created. We choose on demand here, but if you need a cron job crawler, you could do your own setting here. Your data catalog information will be stored and managed in the Glue database. The database here is not the same concept you learned from relational database. You can add one database when you create the crawler. In general, multiple crawlers may share one Glue database, including many tables. Since I already create one Glue database, I would just choose from the list. We keep all other things in default here. Review everything and click finish. Now let's run the crawler. After the crawler completed, you will find a prompt message. One table created, and we can take a look at the table in the Glue database. So what we can do with the Glue table? First, we can look at the metadata information of the table to see where it came from, what format it is, and so on. The more interesting thing is that crawler helps me generate the data schema. We can also edit the schema by adding or dropping fields and changing the data type. For example, let's change the data type for the field timestamp from string to timestamp. Click save. Now it becomes timestamp data type. Next, let's talk about Glue connection. Glue connection is actually a data catalog object that contains connection information for a data store. So it is part of data catalog. For example, if the target data store is RDS relational database, we need to create a JDBC Glue connection so that crawler can use the connecting information from the connection. In general, Glue connection is usually needed by Glue crawlers, jobs, and endpoints to access the data store. By the way, if your data store is S3 or DynamoDB, you don't need Glue connection. So let's create a Glue connection. This demo will show you how to use Glue connection to establish a connection to RDS. The RDS in this demo is created in a private subnet within VPC, which is also pretty aligned with actual production situation. If your RDS instance is publicly accessible or doesn't need VPC, then what I will do in this demo won't be applicable for your case. There are several prerequisites before creating Glue connection. First is security group. As I mentioned, one of the security groups associated with the connection must have a self-referencing inbound rules that open to all TCP ports. Second is the RDS inbound rule. We need to add inbound rule of all TCP and all ports for the security group we just created. Now let's try to create a Glue connection. Go to AWS Glue console, find connections under data catalog, click add connection. Give a connection name. Connection type, we choose Amazon RDS. Then choose the proper database engine. Click next. Choose instance and give password. Click next. Review everything, then click finish. The connection has been created, but we may need to edit the created connection to associate the security group with it. We added the connection and attached the self-referencing security group we created. Once the connection is created, we can test the connection with the IAM role that created at the beginning. The connection has connected to the RDS instance successfully. Now we can create a crawler with Glue connection. steps are pretty similar. Only difference is when we choose the data store. We choose JDBC here and select the connection we created just now. Give a path that we want to crawl. All other settings are same as before. Okay, let's run the crawler. We can see all the tables in the database of major text are captured by the crawler. We can check the table's schema and load them into Glue job to do ETL if we want. Now let's move to our next topic, Glue job. Glue job is the most important part of Glue service because it is where you run your script to perform ETL processing. Glue job is definitely the core of your ETL process. But know that Glue job needs to work with other features like crawler, connection, and trigger. So make sure those features are well prepared before running a Glue job. Before creating Glue job, we may want to check the IAM role to make sure we could write to the target data store. For example, if Glue job writes the transform the data to S3, we need to have the appropriate IAM permissions to allow us to do this. In our demo, I attached Amazon S3 full access policy to my Glue job IAM role. Let's start to create a new Glue job. Go to the AWS Glue console, find job. Under ETL, click add job. Give a Glue job name, choosing the IAM role we created. Type is Spark. Glue job can also execute Spark Streaming or Scala job. Keep Glue version as default. I'm going to use an existing script that I uploaded to S3 already. Leave the other configurations as default. As you can see, here we have the connection we created just now. We can attach the Glue connection to the job if we are going to use the data from RDS database. But in our demo, we don't need the data from RDS, so let's skip this. Click Save Job and edit script. Here is our script. We can edit if we want. Now let's run the job. This JSON file is input data that we're going to do transformation in Glue. What the job would do is to filter out the data with blank first name and last name, drop a column, query, parameters, and body, and then add a new column that only contains the date from timestamp field. And finally, write the file as CSV sent back to the same S3 bucket. You can check the running history, job config details, your job script, and running matrix by select a certain job in the below tab. Job is done. Let's check the output. It looks much cleaner and well-structured than before. That's all of our demonstration. I hope you enjoy what we share, and that would be great if this video could help you have better understanding regarding to AWS Glue. Thank you for watching our video. We may share more contents about Glue and other AWS services in the future videos. See you in the next video.
Please leave your comments, questions, critiques to us so we know you are watching. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Ascending DC, and stay tuned for our next video. See you next week.